Hey, 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 champions, welcome to Step Outside Your Comfort Zone. I hope you are ready for a very great evening. Let me tell you, I am so excited. But before we get started with anything doing with this show, how are you doing? Happy New Year. Go ahead and type Happy New Year in the comments. I hope you're excited about a new year, a fresh start, and say bye bye to 2020. Lord, 2020 was like the longest 3 years of my life. Let me tell you, I thought 2020 was never going to end. Let me know in the comments if you felt that way also. Like, man, when is this year going to end? It felt like an entire decade. If you're watching live, go ahead and put where you are watching from. And if you are catching the replay, put hashtag replay. Do me a huge favor. Go ahead and hit that share button. Put some likes in. This is an interview you don't want to miss. I am fired up and excited about our special guest. Let me tell you, I've been listening to her CD throughout the day. Let me go ahead and put some respect on it. It's called The Path. And let me tell you, I can't wait to find out more about The Path. But I know from the first opening song, I was like, whoa, man. This is a hit. It's all of it's a hit. I love it, love it, love it. Been all on it all day long. You're gonna have a chance to meet this amazing young lady. I mean, I'm telling you, just her spirit and her energy is just absolutely fantastic. And you're gonna get a chance to learn about her story of stepping outside her comfort zone. So let me go ahead and see who's hanging out. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, we have the one and only Carrington Warfield from San Antonio. Put some respect on her name. Absolutely amazing champion. We also have Shaz Cox. Shaz, forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Calling in from Dallas. Maria in Turk, Buenos noches from Atlanta. Hey, champion, how are you? Demetria Coleman in the building as well. We have some champions hanging out and very special guest Taylor is in the building. Remember that name, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that name. She is our next guest coming up on Step Outside Your Comfort Zone. An incredible podcaster. And let me tell you, you talking about somebody to watch. These two young ladies are two individuals you need to put on your radar. I mean, follow them, get their content, subscribe, because both of them are absolutely amazing. And I'm excited about both of them. Listen here, Felicia. We got all type of stars hanging out in the building, showing up for the one and only Colby. Oh, Anna Gail, ¿cómo está? How are you? This champion here, I was watching her interview earlier. Great interview about health. So many people to follow and connect with inside of the chat. But ladies and gentlemen, let me get to our special guest because I am so excited to kick this interview off. This is her, I believe, third drop of The Path. I'll find out if I'm correct in just a moment. Colby will get me started on that. So do me a huge favor, clap it up in the chat. Everybody clap it up in the chat. Type clap. Put some likes in there for our amazing guests. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to some and introduce to others the one and only Colby. How are you, champion?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited and nervous all at the same time. So many emotions and feelings right now. But thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this opportunity.
Hey, thank you. I mean, I am so excited. As you know, I've been watching you for years, right? And I mean, everything you do has just been a level of excellence, and watching you just grow and develop throughout the years and see where you are now has me fired up. I mean, listening to this CD, I was like, wow. I mean, the growth, the development, the excellence of this it's nothing but hits on this. So I can't wait to dig in and find out more. But before we get started and I give all the good stuff away, let's share with the audience a little about who's Colby. So share with the audience, well, who is Colby?
Yes. So hey everybody. I go by Colby Cheri. I am a singer and songwriter, mainly R&B, but I don't like to put myself in a box. So really, just whatever I'm feeling is what I'm going to create. Who I am, I'm honestly still figuring that out right now. I'm 25 years old, so I feel like I'm slowly putting the pieces together of what makes me me. But I know that I am somebody that's passionate. I know that I'm someone that's not going to give up. I'm going to continue to go hard for what I believe in and my dreams. And I think that my purpose is to have like a positive impact on the world and just leave behind a great legacy. And I just want to inspire people to go for their dreams and do whatever they put their minds to.
I love it. I love it. Now, before we jump into anything, there's something I was reading in my research. In my research on Instagram, you had this quote. You talked about the skin I'm in, and I just felt the passion and the conviction behind the words because you didn't. It wasn't like a long post, and it was very accurate. So, share a little bit more with me about that post. Why that's so important to you.
Well, can you repeat the question? Because I'm trying to remember like the post. I post so many things on social media, so you got to refresh my memory.
You were talking about the skin I'm in, the importance of, and what resonated with me was you get to this place in life where you just got to be comfortable with who you are, right? You can't worry about what people think about you externally, right? Are you tall enough? Are you short enough? Are you light enough? Are you dark enough? Are you cute enough? Are you thin enough? Are you thick enough? Can you sing? Can you not sing? All these things, all this pressure we get from the world. And what I got from you, you just dropped this CD, and one of the things you put was, focusing on you gotta just put some respect on the skin that you're in, right? Be comfortable with who you are and recognize your inherent greatness that you already have. So that's where I think you were coming from with it. You got some insight on that you want to share?
Yes, you're right. I did write something about just being in the skin I'm in. I've struggled with that for years, just with just accepting myself and my flaws and what I look like and just me as who I am and how I sound. I still struggle with that daily. I think everyone does, but really, I just think it's very important. I just realized that God created me how I am for a reason. There's no one else like me. I'm uniquely made for a reason, and so I just need to tap into that, and I need to be myself and not care about what people think or care about what people say about me. I had so many different flaws that I just like didn't want to show. I was scared to like show them to the world, or like some people would make fun of me growing up for certain things like my big forehead or something like that. But I learned to embrace it because it's not going anywhere. So love yourself and the skin that you're in. It's very important.
Now, I love that on so many levels because I think what keeps people inside their comfort zone is that they see their uniqueness as a flaw, right? So they may have a scar on their face, they may have some physical feature that's different from everybody else, and if they see it as a flaw, they won't step outside the comfort zone and do what's possible for them because they're thinking that, oh my God, everybody's gonna see this, and they see my forehead, or they see the spots on my face, or they see my nose, and so I don't want to step outside the comfort zone. So I love what you were just saying about appreciating the skin that you're in. Do you know people, or have you come across people? I mean, since you stepped out as an artist and people see you outside your comfort zone doing it, do you come across people that you can see that they're trapped inside their comfort zone and that they should step out?
Yes, there's so many people that like I knew like I went to high school with that were just so talented and like in their own way, and I don't see them doing much, or even if they are doing it, I just don't see it. And I just feel like they could be doing so much more than what they are doing, because they're so talented. And if they would just just get out of their comfort zone and just do it, not think about it, but just do it, then they could go so far. So I do see a lot of that.
So when did you recognize you had a talent to sing? I mean, how far does it go back? Do you remember the age? How old you were?
Yes, I do. I don't remember the exact age, but for as long as I can remember, I've been singing all my life since I was a kid. I remember my mom was telling me, I think when I was like a baby or something like that, I was like singing a song. And I guess I was like really wasn't singing the words or anything, and I really couldn't sing at the time, but I was actually singing it, and I was really young. So singing has been a part of my life for since I could remember. I grew up around music. My mom played music all the time when I was younger. She had like a whole CD collection of just different artists from like Aaliyah to Ashanti to Anita Baker. And so I just kind of gravitated towards that. That kind of helped me to grow like my connection with music. So it's been a part of me since I was born.
Awesome. So are you you're a singer and songwriter. So Courtney has a great question in the chat. She asks, what inspired you to write music?
That's a good question. So what inspired me to write music was actually my mom, because she wrote spoken word growing up, and she had a couple of journals that she used to keep, and she would write all of her spoken word in those journals. And one day I took a journal. I wasn't supposed to, but I did, and I just started reading it, and it just really inspired me. When I got to high school, I started writing poems because I saw that my mom was doing it, and so I was like, well, let me try it. Maybe I could do something like this. I really enjoyed it. And so I started writing poems. Just I would be in my room for hours just trying to write poems and looking up different poems and studying different lyrics and stuff like that. And I realized that I could write poems. And then I started turning the poems into songs, and it just became natural. Like it just came organically, and it was just very natural. And so I was like, wow, this is really something that I can do. And the more I like tapped into that talent, that art, is when I really realized that this is something that I need to do. This is something that I was created to do. So my mom definitely inspired me to start writing.
So I don't want to get you in any type of trouble. Did you say you swiped the journal?
I did, and now
Pay
she knows
attention. The
that.
host is
She knows
snitching.
now. But back then, at the time, she didn't know.
She did. So now you're gonna have a phone call after this interview is what you're gonna have it, right?
Yeah, probably.
Fantastic. We got a question. We have a question from Felicia. She says, what was your favorite track to write on your CD? And ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and put your questions inside the chat as we go through our conversation with the amazing Colbi Cheri.
Yes. So my favorite track to write on the project was Confide. I just really like the way that I put the words. I feel like I was really open in the song and vulnerable. I talk about like my flaws. If you really listen and you really know me and who I am, and some of the flaws that I have, you'll know like piece by piece what I'm talking about exactly. But I think that was one of the best songs that I wrote. Is Confide.
And what was it about Confide? Did it come from so when you're in this zone and you're writing music, I think I saw a question from Carrington here. She asks, what inspires your music when you're in the zone? So what was it about Confide? What inspired you to write it? Was there a certain event that took place for that to come about?
Yeah, there was a certain event. I was going with this guy at the time, and I know we had gotten to a place in our relationship where we just were like really open with each other, and I stopped being afraid to show like my true authentic self, and I just showed some of the flaws that I had, and like he really accepted them. Like he didn't act weird about it or look at me differently or anything like that. And so that's what kind of inspired Confide. I just felt like that's somebody that I could really confide in. I could really tell them everything, share my feelings with, my emotions, and I could just be real with them, 100% real with them. So that's where that came from.
Wow. So it's true that I know from what I hear about in the news, a lot of singers, when they write their music, they're writing it from a lot of content comes from that place of pain or relationships. Like after a relationship ends, some of them say that's the best content or that's when to pour it out. Can you relate to that?
Yes, I can definitely relate to that. That is so true. That's such a true statement. We definitely are inspired by heartbreak a lot, but also other things. I try not to I'm trying to get out of the habit of just writing when I'm hurt, but also when I'm happy, and just allow other emotions to inspire me to write too. But that's definitely true. We are inspired by our emotions.
So how does that show up in relationships? Like you meet somebody, they know who you are, you're Colbi Cheri. They like, hey, wait a minute. If I date Colby, I may be in her next song. I may be the next album. Does that ever come up? Some people get concerned you're not going to put our relationship in the music?
Well, I haven't dated a lot of people, so that hasn't really happened much. But just recently, those questions do come about, and they know who, they know what it is. Like if you do something wrong or you inspire me or something like that, I'm putting it in the song. So they already know what it is.
So, what was part of that journey like for you when you realized that you had this gift? What was that moment in time like when you didn't step out on it? Like you knew you had it. What was keeping you from stepping outside your comfort zone to go ahead and begin singing and releasing your gift to the public?
Yeah, so just the fear of failure is what was keeping me from stepping outside of my comfort zone, feeling like I wasn't good enough, or just thinking about caring too much about what other people would think, or if they didn't like something, or if they did. Or I honestly felt like at one point, if I was to drop something, or if I was to go like full force with my music career, that people would look at me like, well, who is she? Like, she's doing all this. Who does she think she is? So really just within like the past couple of years, I was like holding myself back, keeping myself from just going forward with my music. Just the fear of failure.
Wow. So how did that show up as far as in like every day, right? We know that there's something that we should be doing and we're not doing it. So dealing with that internal struggle, what was it that helped you make that first step? Say, you know what? I've already dropped music before and it's time for me to drop some more music, do something else. What helped you make that first step to create that momentum going forward to creating this powerful product that you have, the path?
Hmm. Yeah. So what helped just to push me towards just pursuing it, just saying forget everything else and just go 100% all in. Probably was just seeing my peers doing things on social media. I'm seeing people becoming fashion designers, starting their own businesses, and people that I went to high school with, and they're just really doing it. YouTubers and just all these millennials out here that are, following their dreams and their passions, and they're doing what they love to do every day. I just looked at it and I'm like, that's something I want to do. I don't, for me, a 9 to 5 job is not something I want to do for the rest of my life. It doesn't make me happy. And so that kind of motivated me and inspired me to just go for it and stop caring about what people think and just do it.
Yeah, and and I find that exists no matter what age you're in. If you let me know in the chat, yes or no, if you could relate to this. Type yes or no if you could relate to this. That no matter what age you were in your development in life, being concerned what other people think was a roadblock for you. Let me know yes or no in the chat, that just because of what other people might say, what other people might think, that at one point in time in your life was a roadblock for you. Let me know in the chat if you experienced that, because I love the way you pulled that out, because it's that fear of what will other people think that will keep us trapped and not realize what other people may think might be tremendous praise, might be tremendous appreciation. And I think the people that will appreciate it will be in the greater number, and the people that want to hate for whatever reason, that's going to be the minority, but we get trapped thinking about that minority. Did you ever have to struggle with that? Like thinking about what the small amount of people would do versus how the large amount of people would show up for you?
Just recently, since I've been on the Clubhouse app, I've just been tuning into just different music groups and just listening to other artists and stuff like that. And one of the guys on there, one of the moderators, he was just saying like, focus on the people that are actually supporting you, and not so much on the people who aren't. That's super important. Just focus on that. Just don't focus on people that aren't supporting you. Like, no one owes you anything. So if they don't repost you, if they don't comment, like, it's okay. You still have, a certain amount of people that do support you. So just focus on that.
I love that. And ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you are on the Clubhouse app, please. Go ahead and put your name and your handle in there. You need to be on Clubhouse. You heard Colby. Colby just told you. Clubhouse is an amazing place for networking and connecting. Don't give me any pushback. It's time to get on Clubhouse. Trust me, it's not eHarmony. Nobody's coming to try to date you. Well, I don't know. Somebody might. You might look fly in your profile picture. I don't know, right? You listen, if you listen to The Path, you'll get on Clubhouse. Colby's CD will free your mind. Go to Apple Music right now. Where else could they get? Let's take a pause before we continue with this. First of all, go to Instagram, follow Colby at Colbi Cheri. Cheri. Is it Sherry or Cherie?
Cherie.
Cherie. Go to Instagram, follow her. Tell us where we can get a copy of the album at. Where can we get a copy of the album?
Yes, so you can find the album on all major platforms: Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon. So that's where you can check it out.
Hey, somebody put the links for me in the chat. Go ahead, somebody grab the links to where we can go ahead and get. You need to get that CD. Then I'm telling you, number 1 and I think number 3. Oh my God, you ain't ready. You ain't ready, but get it anyway. Go ahead and get that thing because it's gonna do something good for you. All right, so Maria had a question for you. So let me go ahead and pull. Let me slide back up. Maria said, "Boom." She said, "What keeps you in check when your fears show up or you have triggers?" So you know how you start going down that path, and then things are always pushing and pulling, trying to get you off track. So how do you show up? How do you handle that when you're in the groove, you're in the zone, you're flowing, you're working on your project, and things are constantly trying to pull you off track? What helps keep you in check?
Really, what helps keep me in check? I'm honestly still working on that because a lot of stuff I get very uncomfortable with, like just even agreeing to doing this interview. I was like not comfortable at all, but I just tell myself like I can do it, like it's gonna be okay. Just keep moving forward. Like, you'll have some setbacks, but setback for, a better comeback. And really just focusing on my craft, really.
See, I love that because do you ever get people that look at you, they talk to you, and they saying, "Wait a minute, you're Colby. I mean, you got albums out there. You got this amazing project you just dropped. How could you have any of that?" Do people ask you about that?
No, I haven't really gotten that question. No, not really.
Yeah, so it's amazing to me because people that are so gifted and talented in what they do, it's amazing to me that behind the scenes sometimes that they could feel that way, right? They could feel like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Not an extrovert, but an introvert, right? I know a lot of people that are very talented, but they're really introverts, right? So once they get off this stage, once they get out from in front of the cameras, once they get from behind the mic, they feel like, hey, they feel just comfortable just going home and just doing them. So how do you feel about that? Do you consider yourself more of an extrovert or an introvert?
I definitely consider myself more of an introvert. I'm a very introverted, private person. I have a hard time voicing my emotions, so songwriting definitely helps with that. But yeah, I like to be private and low key. I'm not really this vocal, talkative person like that. So this is definitely helping me to improve and open up more.
Well, that's amazing to me. I'm the same way. I've always been that way. I mean, outside when cameras are off, step away from a mic. I like to just go home and just be me. I cut the phone off. I just want to get away. I don't mind that, but cut the switch on. It's time to go to work. We do what we do. Like you get behind the mic and you got to sing. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Who is this? Who is this? Yeah. Right? It's like your very presence demands an explanation because your gift is on and you're securing that. So I love that you mentioned that. So we got another question here from Shez. Shez is a cool name. For someone looking to get started in the music field, what advice would you give them? Can you see yourself mentoring others and aspiring others? I just jacked that up, Shez. Please forgive me.
Yeah, so I definitely could see myself mentoring other artists once I get to that point of actually, just really being in the limelight and in the entertainment business. But what I would tell someone is just not to care about what other people think. Like, you really can't focus on that. You can't focus on what people will say or how other people feel. You just have to go for it. Like, literally, don't think about it. Just go for it. It may be uncomfortable, you may fail, but just get back up. Like, if you know deep down inside this is something that you want to do and this is something that you were created to do, then do it. Nobody can tell you, if you were created to do it, then nobody can stop you from doing that. Nobody can stop you from being successful in any field that you want to do if it's for you. So if it's for you, then accept it and work towards it, work hard and get it done. Do you.
I love that. So, what was the most challenge? This might be a tough question, and let me know if you don't want to answer it. But what was the toughest thing you found out about the music industry for you growing through it? I mean, this is not your first. It's not your first drop. So, what was it? What's the toughest thing that you learned about the music industry, so that others that are aspiring artists that they can have some type of awareness? Because a lot of things about the music industry are such a mystery. Like especially you only see when somebody's popping and when they break out. So, what's one of those biggest lessons you learned about the music industry?
I learned that the music industry is very cutthroat. They will chew you up and swallow you if you let them. You really just have to just be yourself. And really, I just learned that there's a lot of critics. There's going to be a lot of critics that make comments and negative things, have negative things to say about you, but you really just can't pay attention to that. You just gotta keep going.
Good. So before we dive into the path, your latest drop, and talk about it, was it difficult finding your voice? Because I don't know what it's like for the music industry when you got so many people that you can look up to, so many different people that you can pattern yourself after. And was it difficult finding your own voice so that you weren't becoming one of your heroes, so that you could stay uniquely who you are? What was that process like, finding your own voice?
Yeah, I think it was kind of difficult finding my own voice just because a lot of people already knew who like my favorite artists, and a lot of times people like to kind of compare you to that artist just because that's what they're familiar with, and I get it. But it really was kind of hard to find my own voice. I am still trying to find what makes me different from the next artist.
Yeah, I could only imagine. I know when I started out in the speaking industry, Les Brown was one of the first speakers. I just was like in awe about. One of my mentors. He became a mentor to me. He wrote the foreword for my second book. I mean, this guy was incredible. But one of the things I found out early in the game was you got to find your own voice, because people didn't want another him, right? They wanted another voice. They wanted to be able to find out who you are. So I could just imagine the difficulty with singers, because there are so many great singers, right? And to find your own voice. But when I listened to The Path, I didn't think about anybody else. It was just like, this is Colby. Not just because I think you're the bomb.com and you have this amazing family, which I know. I mean, you have so many amazing people in your family. Not because of any of that. I mean, this was just like, yo, this let me say it like Kevin Hart said, this ish right here, yo, this is all that, right? So I could just imagine how difficult. Kennedy has a question for you. She says, for someone wanting to start writing, whether it be for music or just start writing in general, what do you suggest? So somebody trying to break in writing, what do you suggest?
I definitely suggest studying other people and the way they write. That's how I started when I was in high school. I was really studying like Taylor Swift, which sounds so crazy, but like I was a huge Taylor Swift fan in middle school, and I just loved her storytelling, the way she wrote her stories, and the way she like approached songwriting. So I would say just to start studying the way other people write, just different artists, different genres, from R&B to neo soul to rock, everything. Really just study the artists and study how they write their lyrics, and just try it and just continue to keep doing it, because when you keep doing something, you just get better and better at it. So start by studying other people's lyrics.
Man, that's the perfect advice right there. Just keep doing it. The more you do it, the better you become. The more confidence comes, and just keep doing it. That's why I love that you continue to go forward. So tell me about the path. What is the path all about? What is the thought process that went into the path? What's that story?
Yes. So the path actually started several years ago. I literally have been working on the path probably for about like 7 years. From the time I was in Atlanta to the time I moved here, I made a couple of changes. The track list was like completely different from a couple of years ago. But as time passed, the songs just got really old. And I just wasn't in that space anymore. So I pretty much wrote a whole new track list when I moved to San Antonio. And so basically the path is just, it's my real life experiences that I've never really shared with anyone else. And I just tried to articulate it in the best way that I can, which is through songwriting. It talks about personal growth and relationships and myself. So it's really just my path, what I've experienced, what I've seen the past couple of years, what I've gone through leading up to now, which is the last song, which the sixth song on the project, Your Way. That was the last song that I wrote, and it really just sums up the whole path, which is basically you'll find your way, you'll figure it out.
I love that. I know I like listening to it. I'm like, hey, it sounds real good. It sounds real good. Hey, and Maria Turk, that's in the building. I was just having a conversation with her. She just launched a new community, and it all has to do with music. And we were just talking about networking with artists, that she's looking to network with artists to cover songs for what she's working on. So, and I think it'd be a great connection for Maria and you to go ahead and talk and connect. So make sure you connect with each other. Are you on, what's your Facebook handle so that somebody could put that in the chat for me? Go ahead and put the Facebook handle for me for Colby. What's your handle? Your username for Facebook.
My Facebook.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just zoned out. I don't have a Facebook. I don't use Facebook. I did a couple years ago, but
Oh,
really, you can really find me on Instagram
okay.
and Twitter. So
Fantastic. And her
yeah.
Instagram is at Colbi Cheri, Colbicher. I'm learning so much. You should have, our behind the scenes conversation before this interview was fire. I'm gonna gloss up all because of the tips Colby is giving me. She gave me some words I gotta eliminate from using because I don't need to be using those words no more at all for any reason. Like ringtone. If you're still using ringtone, give it up or call Colby for a consultation on words you're still using that you need to abandon.
It's
the
all
path
good.
the path for me is to get rid of those words.
It's all
Abs-
good.
Absolutely. All right. So we one more question before we move forward to making sure everybody knows how to get in contact with you besides Instagram. We have Carrington. Do you like to tell a story when you write music?
Yes, I do like to tell stories when I'm writing music. That's pretty much how I approach the song. Is I really want to tell a story from start to finish, which is how I approached the EP. It is literally from start to finish. So I feel like that's important is to tell a story in my music.
And storytelling drives everything now. So your ability to tell a story is just absolutely amazing. So as we begin to close out this interview, what's next for Colby? I mean, you got this. I know you got this, and you're pushing and promoting this. What's coming up after this project for Colby?
Yes. So what's coming up next is me just really just focusing on perfecting my craft. Linking up with different artists and collabing with other up and coming artists. I would love to do that. Also, just doing some shows. I know with coronavirus right now, that may not be possible, but just showcasing things online, doing shows online, and just networking and just really getting my name out there in the music industry.
I really love that because a lot of things are moving online, and I'm seeing a lot of creative people jumping online to do their art, whether it's a DJ, whether it's singing. You have to sing online now. You might have to sing at somebody's birthday party over Zoom. What is that? What is that? How does that impact you as a singer? Before we shift gears, that's something I really want to know about. As a creative, how does that impact you knowing that probably as you are on your journey thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be on the large stages, I'm going to be in front of these audiences. And now it's like the career path until all this is over is, you and your phone or you and your camera. How did that initially impact you as an artist in releasing music?
Yeah, so that's actually, it's a good thing and a bad thing, because I'm still getting comfortable with performing in front of crowds. Back in 2019, I was actually doing a couple of shows, so I was kind of getting out my comfort zone and just performing in front of a lot of people, and it slowed me down with coronavirus. So in a way, that was the bad part about it. But the good part about it is that I don't have to be in front of a lot of crowds right now, not face to face. And so I think that it helps me to improve on just performing in front of people, just being in my own space and recording or performing in front of people online. That actually helps me to get out of my comfort zone because it still makes me nervous. But I'm still working on just performing in front of people and getting out of my comfort zone when it comes to that. So it's a good and a bad thing.
Maria says we need a Zoom performance. Hey, that sounds good. In the near future, everybody, if you would like, we're not gonna put pressure on Colby, but would you like to come to oh, Carrington said it. She said it best. Let me go ahead and post it. Let me put it up here. No pressure. No pressure. A listening party. Who would like to attend a listening party? Trust me on this. Get the CD tonight. Somebody put that link to Apple Music for me with her CD. Put that in the chat. But would you like to attend a listening party? Just let us know in the chat so that after this broadcast, Colby could look at it and say, you know what? Public wants to hear it. So we're going to think about doing it. Don't commit to it, Colby. Don't commit to it yet. But I would love for you in 2021, in the first quarter, if possible, to do it. I will do everything I can to push it because I think it would be amazing. Kennedy says, okay, no comment yet. No comment. Let me go ahead and put Kennedy up here. Kennedy said yes. Kennedy says yes. Felicia threw up some hearts. Oh my goodness. Carrington said yeah. Maria said, some people. Demetria Coleman said yes. The public is speaking to us. Oh my God. So we got some people that would do it. Consider it. Let me know. I will do whatever I can for you. Trust me on that. All right. So are there any other ways outside of IG for people to contact you, or is IG the best way for people to connect with you?
Yes, Instagram is the best way to connect with me right now. Definitely. That's the app that I use the most. So you can connect with me on there.
And you get some snippets of her singing on there. Oh my God. Let me tell you, the talent is deep. Go out there and follow her, but still get the CD. Just don't get the Instagram. Get the CD because let me tell you, it's really good. It's really good. All right. Anything you would want the public to know? Anything else you want to leave? Your closing thoughts? Well, let me rephrase that. So, considering stepping out your comfort zone is so important, what are your parting words that you could share with people that are out there that are sitting on their gift? They're letting the fear of failure and the comments and thoughts of other people keep them inside their comfort zone. Take a moment and share with them the importance of stepping out and give them any encouragement you would like to give or share to help them step outside their comfort zone.
Yeah. So I just realized for myself that growth happens when you spend time doing things that make you uncomfortable. Like, I feel like 2021 is all about stepping outside of your comfort zone. You have to get uncomfortable and be okay with being uncomfortable. Like right now for me, just y'all are looking at me right now. You probably can't tell, but I'm very uncomfortable. This is not. So a year ago, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't have agreed to this a year ago. So really, just being in your comfort zone, it just keeps you stagnant. And if you really want to do something, you really want to go far, you can't let it hold you back. You just have to do it, and you can't think about it. Just do it. So that's what I would leave with everyone.
All right. You heard it from Colby. Just do it. Take that first step wherever you are right now. Just make that decision tonight. Take that first step. She could not be where she is without taking that first step. And when you see Colby as the years continue to go down and you see her consistency, you see her continuing to gloss up in life, don't be sitting back hating. She told you today, early in 2021, to take that first step. Just make that first step. You have a lot of support. You have a lot of people rooting for you. The whole world is waiting for you. So make sure, do me a huge personal favor, connect with Colby on Instagram. You can look inside the chat. You can see all types of links. And then Carrington just posted the link in the chat to her CD. Go get the CD tonight, especially with all the pandemic stuff going on. You can have a party tonight. You can start listening to it tonight. So go ahead and get it. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for watching this broadcast tonight. I am so excited, and thanks to Colby so much for joining me tonight with Step Outside Your Comfort Zone. Have a great night, everybody. God bless you, and God bless the day you were born. Take that first step outside your comfort zone tonight. Look forward to seeing you in the next interview will be with Taylor. And let me tell you, oh my God, another amazing story. So stay tuned and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.